The howling wind was the only sound for 1,000 miles, a relentless assault on the walls of Arctic Research Station Epsilon. Inside, cocooned from the blizzard's fury, Dr. Eris Thorne leaned over the gleaming cylinder of an ancient ice core. Its layers a frozen history book stretching back millennia. The station was a solitary outpost, a metal shell buried under an ever-deepening blanket of snow, and for the past 3 months Eris had been its only occupant. His breath plumed in the chilled air of the laboratory as he adjusted the sonic analyzer, preparing to map the core's density. He was alone, but he wasn't lonely. The ice held more secrets than any human companion ever could. This particular sample, extracted from a depth previously unreachable, promised to unlock a chapter of Earth's past that had been sealed away long before the dawn of humankind. He slipped on his headphones, the hum of the analyzer a familiar comfort as the sensor began its slow crawl down the length of the ice. But then something else cut through the static. It was faint, impossibly so, but undeniably structured. A rhythmic, electronic pulse. A signal. His heart hammered against his ribs. It was impossible. This ice was hundreds of thousands of years old, formed long before any civilization capable of producing such a signal. He recalibrated, ran diagnostics, but the pulse remained steady and insistent. As he worked frantically to isolate the frequency, a strange feedback began to echo through the station's systems. The lights in the lab flickered in time with the pulse, and a low thrum seemed to vibrate up from the floor. He tore the headphones off, but the sound was still there, a ghost in his ears. The empty corridors outside the lab suddenly felt menacing, the shadows in the corners seeming to lengthen and twist. Every creak of the station structure under the weight of the snow became a footstep. Every whisper of the wind a voice calling his name. Paranoia, cold and sharp, began to prick at the edges of his sanity. Suddenly, with a deafening groan of tortured metal, the main generator died. The hum of life support, the whir of ventilation, the familiar glow of the lab, all vanished. Absolute darkness and a terrifying silence crashed down upon him, broken only by the piercing shriek of the emergency alarm, which was quickly replaced by the pulsing, ominous glow of red backup lights. The lab was now a cavern of crimson and black. His own panicked breaths were loud in the sudden quiet, but he was not alone with the sound. The rhythmic signal, the one from the ice, was now blaring directly from his discarded headphones, loud and clear, as if amplified by the station's death. His gaze was drawn back to the core. From deep within its frozen heart, a faint, sickly green light began to pulse, a soft luminescence that beat in perfect, horrifying synchrony with the signal. A wave of profound, unnatural cold washed over him, a cold that had nothing to do with the Arctic outside. He could feel it now, a presence in the room with him, standing just behind his shoulder, its attention fixed on the glowing ice. He was frozen in place, a scream trapped in his throat, as the rhythmic pulse seemed to seep into his very bones. The blizzard continues its eternal dance across the polar expanse, a white shroud over a dead world. From the buried shell of Station Epsilon there is no light, no sign of life, no human sound. There is only the signal, faint, rhythmic, and impossibly ancient. It pulses out from the silent, frozen tomb, a patient broadcast into the vast, waiting emptiness of the Arctic night, searching for a receiver.